It's very
Make a lot of
easy to
sense.
be successful quickly if you want to lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top. But I think, you know, it takes a lot longer if you want to be successful with integrity.
Marry me.
Okay, I'm single.
Welcome to this week's episode where I'm sitting in a car and you're probably not. Today we'll be chatting with Scarlett, a star of the adult industry, and would you believe we'll also be discussing the worldwide laws of supply and demand. But first, you may have seen some headlines recently about a woman here in Melbourne who started crying. Now, we all cry from time to time. In fact, it's actually quite healthy to let it all out sometimes, but this one was interesting. Here in Australia, and it's happening in other parts of the world, Instagram have removed the ability for us to see likes on people's posts. Many have welcomed this change, saying that they're actually likely to post more because they won't be self-conscious about that little number that can sometimes turn what you thought was a banger photo into kind of a dud. Meanwhile, some influencers have been brought to tears because they're worried about how this will affect their online businesses and their clout. My name's Darren Levy, and this is Funny Uber Rides. Production team, please play the intro. Thank you, production team, for that intro, and welcome back. Now, Michaela Testa made headlines all around the world for crying to her fans, and I noticed that she lives here in Melbourne. So I reached out, I said, hey, do you want to go for a drive? Maybe explain your situation, we can get to know you a little bit better. She said, sure. Then she cancelled on me. So to be honest, I was like, ah, shit, like Friday's coming up, I got a video to put out, and I got nothing. Like, who am I gonna get in my car who posts booty pics online? Like, that's not a thing. I don't think people do that. Instagram would never allow that sort of thing to exist on their platform.
My official title is Miss Exotic Entertainer Victoria.
Wow. Okay, so a bit of a backstory here. Last week when Michaela started to go viral, she had about 40,000 followers on Instagram. And from posting photos there, a portion of her audience would sign up for her paid subscription-based content, which is on a website called OnlyFans. Our award-winning exotic entertainer, Scarlett, is going to explain how this all works. She's 19. Like, she's just started doing this 5 months ago. She claims to have made like 65 grand.
Good for her.
How does it work?
So OnlyFans is similar to Patreon, which is another subscription site where people sign up. It's like you can set your price of whatever you want. It can be like $5 a month or $100 a month or however much. And people subscribe and they pay you that fee, and then you post your content.
Another version of subscription-based content that you may be more familiar with is premium Snapchat. Individuals who market themselves well in the adult industry can make an absolute killing. For example, I know you know who this is, and according to her, on a good month, she can make around this.
For me, like, I was doing a lot of photo shoots, kind of like just to post on Instagram and have really good photos, get likes, followers, that sort of thing, and also promote myself in a way that's like glamorous for work. You know, so having professional photos is beneficial like that, but you can't, you know, like obviously you have to censor that. Having an OnlyFans account allows me to post my photo sets, which may be more explicit, and I don't need to censor them. So if people want to, you know, see me naked or see me do anything, it doesn't even need to be in the realm of me. It could just be like having a personal chat on Skype or
legit. So you can
singing to them, you know, and I can charge a fee or get a tip for that.
Can you sing? Or can you
Oh,
sing?
look, I think I can sing. I think I can sing in my car and in my shower. But no one's asked me to sing for them yet.
Well, yeah, but you brought it up. But Darren, you say, seeing a boob in real life is very different to online, you say.
It's getting harder and harder, I think, especially with things like Tinder and all of this like online content with things like Patreon and OnlyFans and people creating their own content. People don't need to go into a club to see a girl naked.
Gotcha.
People don't even need to pay money anymore to see a girl naked.
Is that why you did the pivot to OnlyFans?
Yeah, I think it is becoming more and more popular to like get a side hustle or have another source of income and work every single angle that you possibly can, because like...
Literally. This does make me ask some questions about the oversupply of online content though. I'm sure you've also spent far too long trying to pick from the huge catalogue of shows on Netflix, and then you end up just rewatching a classic.
But there's also becoming more and more supply, so it is becoming harder, and you are having to get more creative and step into other industries or cross boundaries, and
stepping away from traditional and just going more creative,
Yeah.
like social media. So I feel like we've established that sure, there is a demand, there is a need for this type of content, but then why was Michaela crying? She's making money in her own creative way, like what's the problem?
I would say like my main source of income is through dancing.
Okay.
The OnlyFans now is a side hustle. If I get to the point where I don't have to dance anymore, then bloody good for me.
That's
the goal,
that's
you know?
The move. So then like the likes disappearing on Instagram, it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it does. I might post a photo, say from a photo shoot, and say my caption, see the whole set on OnlyFans, blah blah blah.
Gotcha.
And I don't care about the likes. All I care about is if people read that and go to my other side.
When Scarlett said this, it made sense to me. The likes don't equate to dollars. It's more like a happy drug. It's a dopamine hit. It kind of clicked for me that Michaela crying might not have had much to do with, or anything to do with, her business disappearing. In fact, that probably helped the business, if anything. I think possibly there could be something deeper here, and what I'm getting at is the mental health risks associated with being addicted to likes and having your self-esteem wrapped up in that little red heart. Truth be told, when this clicked for me, my brain started shooting out a bunch of uncomfortable scenarios. Like, we joke around because it's objectively funny. Like, it's over the top. It's unusual for someone to cry over likes. That's why it went viral. But I think the bigger picture here is that for the most part, social media is still extremely misunderstood by its users, and mixing business and pleasure on a platform like Instagram is apparently really dangerous. After posting the video of herself crying, Michaela said this.
I just think I'm gonna have a really big break from social media for a while, because it's really just...
Unfortunately, that break, although it may have been healthy for Michaela, lasted 24 hours.
If you have lots of people wanting you to be this and they're giving you all this positive reinforcement to be this, which might be great, but you know, you don't, if that's not how you want to define yourself, it's kind of tricky, because then it's, do you create content purely for business, or do you create content as I'm authentic and it's just a bonus that I'm successful this way?
So you're a businesswoman.
I'm a businesswoman, but I'm like a real bitch.
Apparently, like 12, 13-year-olds that are on Instagram, they will post a photo or a video or whatever, and if it doesn't get the same amount of likes that it normally gets in like half an hour, they'll delete it. Have you ever seen that?
I mean, not in half an hour, but
Or like in a
there's
period of
definitely,
time.
there's definitely been times where I've posted something and then gone back through my feed maybe like a week later and be like, oh, this photo doesn't really fit into the image or the way that I want to portray myself. On that same note, I've deleted photos with heaps of likes that I've just decided that, no, maybe not. No, I don't want people to see that if they go to my profile.
Fair enough. I change captions as well. And it's often like after listening to like rap music and when I think I'm the shit.
Yeah, it's like, again, YOLO, and then you're like, oh, I'm an embarrassment.
I don't know Michaela at all, and it's very easy to make assumptions based on the content that she puts online, but truth is, it's only her family and friends that know what her mental health state is like. And as much as I'd love to go deeper as to what her intentions have been and what they are with the viral experience she's had, and probably how it's helped her business a lot, probably not my place to comment any further. But Michaela, I will say, if you are watching this, myself and the production team at Funny Uber Rides, we hope you're okay.
I'm getting, you know, a lot of positive reinforcement for just being myself online recently. Like, I've been posting more story rants, and not just about sex and working and dancing, just my life. Like, yeah, we're sex workers, but we're people. And I think that, you know, like, if people can see your personality, they invest more in you and they'll support you no matter what you do.
Well, one, obviously, like, it's 100% more attractive. But two, it's just easier to engage in like a conversation with you.
I've got an Android.
This is so shit though.
No, okay.
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 Wow, I
First of all, no.
You know how to make a man feel it all.
I shouldn't eat the whole nugget with you talking
Go
about
nuts, go nuts.
No, because now I'm gonna like, the last memory you have of me is gonna be me going, oh, thanks so much, Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much, Darren. Thanks.
Is it stripper or dancer? Like what?
You can say stripper, like,
Yeah, okay. You're chill,
stripper has like a negative connotation these days, and I think dancer is more politically correct. But look, at the end of the day, we're strippers. If I say, look, technically, I'm a Premier award-winning showgirl, but bro, I'm a stripper. Like, I'm a stripper. Well, I'm Italian. So,
Like I picked up a stripper, gave her a lift home one night, and she was telling me this guy was being like too handsy with her or something, and she warned him a couple times, lost her cool, slapped him. He didn't like react, he just pulled a gun out of his pocket and put it on the table. Do you have a LinkedIn account?
I don't have a LinkedIn. No.
Are there many strippers that have a LinkedIn?
I don't really know what LinkedIn is. I thought it was like a more business kind of like resume.
Well, it is, but
I wish I could put this on my resume. I am customer service. I got this. No, my first job was Hungry Jack's. I need to quit stripping. Like, I'm just gonna become a comedian, because majority of like my regular customers, they all say the same thing. They all say, oh, I found you online and thought you were really funny, so I just wanted to come in and like hang out with you. I don't care about the dancing. And I'm like, why does no one want to see me naked?
Well, like possibly, you know, rather than quitting stripping and getting into comedy, I think combine the two. So there's a vertical.
Oh no, I'm not gonna quit.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Scarlett.
Likewise.